Have you ever stopped to think about why we say, "Hey guys," when addressing a group that includes both men and women? It's a phrase we use all the time, but where does this seemingly male-specific term come from? And how did it become so gender-neutral? In this video, we're diving into the linguistic journey of the word guys, from its historical origins to its modern inclusive usage. Get ready to understand a small but fascinating part of everyday language. The greeting "Hey guys" is ubiquitous in many English-speaking cultures. It's often the default way to address a casual group, whether you're talking to coworkers, friends, or even strangers. The puzzling part is its use in mixed gender groups, and sometimes even groups entirely made up of women. How did a term historically associated with men cross that gender line? To trace the history of guys, we have to go back to 17th century England and a man named Guy Fawkes. He was part of the infamous Gunpowder plot, a failed attempt to blow up the Houses of Parliament. After the plot failed, people began marking the event annually. It became a tradition to burn effigies of Fawkes, crude figures stuffed with straw. These figures, representing Fawkes, were called guys. Initially, calling someone a guy was a mocking insult. It suggested they looked like the effigy, ragged, ridiculous, or poorly dressed, more a figure of ridicule than a serious insult. By the 19th century, the term softened slightly. It transitioned from meaning a grotesque figure to simply a poorly dressed or odd-looking man, especially in British English. When guy crossed the Atlantic into American English, it underwent a major change. It gradually lost its negative connotations and became a standard informal synonym for man or fellow by the mid-19th century. Once guy meant man, the plural guys naturally emerged to refer to a group of men. This usage was originally strictly male. The biggest shift came later. Linguistic evolution began moving guys away from its masculine singular root and into a more gender-neutral plural use to address groups of people. Today, guys often functions as a generic plural address term. It's used in much the same way one might use friends or folks to address a mixed gender group, especially in casual spoken contexts. This linguistic phenomenon isn't unique. Think about regional terms like y'all in the southern United States, or the more general term folks. These all serve as convenient ways to address a group without specifying gender. So why did guys become so popular compared to other options in many parts of the English-speaking world? One likely factor is the ongoing casualization of language, especially in informal settings. Guys is short, punchy, and efficient, fitting well into the pace of modern conversation. English also lacks a single universally accepted non-regional second-person plural pronoun, so expressions like "you guys" help fill that gap in everyday speech. Today, the use of guys to include women is widely accepted, especially among younger generations, though not universally. Some people still find it exclusionary. For many speakers, using guys doesn't strongly imply gender. It simply signals that you are addressing more than one person in a friendly, informal way. It's a clear example of how language evolves over time. While guys is common, some people prefer alternatives to maintain clearer gender neutrality, such as everyone or team. In some regions, you might also hear yous, a dialectal plural of you, commonly used in parts of the northeastern United States, particularly Philadelphia, New Jersey, and New York City, as well as widely used in Ireland and found in some dialects of Scotland and Australia. The choice often depends on context, region, and audience. So the simple greeting "Hey guys" carries centuries of history, from a condemned plotter to a figure of ridicule, and finally to one of the most common greetings in modern English. It's a clear example of how words can transcend their original meaning to fill a useful role in everyday conversation.